Hello, beloved listeners, and welcome to Snake People at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. It's the podcast where we talk about growing up and living queer, nerdy, and depressed online and at the cinema. From the kids who know the real blood-sucking fiends are the capitalists, it's Sneeple at the Movies. I'm Matty.
And I'm Ezra.
And this is going to be, first of all, Happy Halloween! This is actually coming out before Halloween, but that's fine. This is the Halloween episode.
Well, Halloween is an off week for us.
That's right.
This is what you get. And besides, I'm sure all of you delightful people can make your own Halloween fun. Because we're going to be off doing all sorts of spooky bullshit.
That's right.
That's my new preferred.
It sounded like a threat when I say it. That's right. Oh, God.
I mean, yes, it kind of does.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I love you anyway.
So you may notice Helena's not with us. That's okay. We're going to be doing something similar to what we did for the Star Trek episode. So we'll have half the episode will be Ezra and I, and then the other half will be Helena and I. So you are just going to get two kind of slightly different episodes kind of smushed together in a delightful episode sandwich.
Yeah, halfway through, basically, Helena's going to tag me out and probably yell about Dracula adaptations like a lot. So yes, stay tuned for that specifically.
Because this week we are doing vampires.
It's the vampire episode.
I've been talking about, like, Halloween. I want to talk about Fright Night. And I was like, how can I make it so I can talk about Fright Night? And I was like, well, vampires. So I strong-armed them into doing this episode with me. And everybody agreed, so...
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't have to, like, twist that hard.
No.
Because vampires are fun.
Vampires are real fun, and we'll get more into that in a sec. Real quick, what we've seen... I have seen a bunch of stuff. I started my Rotten Tomatoes challenge. That's the most important news.
Good for you!
Yes, Ben and I watched Logan, which is 2017, I think.
Yeah, I think that's
Logan
right.
still holds up just phenomenally well. That movie is like...
The movie's good as hell!
Yeah, my roommate watched it with us, and she had never seen it before, and she was just like, yeah, no. She was like, that was really good,
nice.
And also, like, fuck you guys. And I was like, yeah, sorry. I cried, and Amanda cried, and Ben was like, are you crying? And I was like, yes. And he was like, okay, that's fine, because I'm also tearing up. And I was like, okay, good. We're all fucking crying right now. Yeah, so after this I have to watch The Missing Link, which is that animated movie. This is the thing I want to see least on this whole
God,
list.
I fucking forgot about that, because we definitely did not exclude voice-only performances from this.
No, I have to see it, and I don't want to badly.
That was the hubris of man.
I know, that's the second thing on the list, so it can't be that bad, but also I just watched Logan.
How is that the second highest fucking rated movie that Hugh Jackman has ever been in? Like, that seems fucked up if true, I guess, is what that just seems like a fucked up if true.
Yeah, well, after that, it's a bunch of, like, X-Men movies, so...
Okay.
Ben has also said he would join me for those, so I have to slog through a bunch of the X-Men stuff, which is fine. I love Wolverine more than I love myself, so it's fine. That sentence just came forth from me, the fountain of youth. There was
no, yeah, that was truth coming out of her well to shame you specifically.
Mankind, yeah. Yeah, and also I realized after we watched it, I was like, oh, it's literally will only get worse from here, and that's when I had the full realization of what I signed up for.
Yeah, I'm definitely starting mine this week. I need to get a hold of a DVD of Crazy Heart. I definitely have, like, Colin Farrell has been in a fair amount of quite good films. So I have a ways to go before it starts to become a true test of loyalty, I think.
Let me know when there's this movie with him and Nicole Kidman that takes place in, like, some, like, southern school for girls.
Yes!
I saw it with Higu and Stan, because we were like, I bet this is going to be some, like, scary cult shit. They're going to, like, eat him or whatever, and that's not, spoiler alert, that's not what happened, and I was fucking bummed about it, but I want to talk about it.
I have also seen that movie, so that'll be a rewatch for me, and I would be super happy to watch it with you.
Yeah. I just want to complain about it while we watch it.
That's totally legitimate, honestly.
The movie was something different than what I thought it was going to be, and therefore I guess that's legitimate grounds to complain. I don't know.
I mean, that movie was like, I was hoping it was going to be more fucked up than it ended up being.
Yeah, right? I was like,
just like generally.
This is gonna be some wild shit, like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I hope they're all, like, evil witches or something. I don't know. And then they weren't.
No.
And it was a bummer.
Nah. Oh well.
Anyway, if you don't know what our Rotten Tomatoes challenge is, we talked about it in our director's episode. I think we start talking about it 9 minutes in, and it lasts till about 15 minutes in, so go give that a listen. All the rules are in there, so we're basically taking an actor's filmography and watching from best to worst and seeing how long we can survive.
It's gonna be very fun. So, Matty obviously picked, Hugh Jackman.
Huge act man. Yeah.
Huge jacked man. I picked, that's only when he's, playing Logan though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I picked Colin Farrell and, Helena picked Hugh Grant, so.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questionable film making decisions coming our way in the fairly near future, listeners. So that's definitely a ride you're going to want to join us on.
Ben kept listing Hugh Jackman movies that he thought were bad, and every single time I was like, I actually kind of liked that one, and he just looked at me, and I think he realized why I picked Hugh Jackman. He was like, that really long movie that was just called Australia, and I was like, yeah, I liked Australia. And
I genuinely enjoyed Australia.
Movies. And I was like, I own the Rise of the Guardians movies, and he was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh my god.
Like, alright, listen to me. I don't have an excuse. I was depressed and that movie came into my life at the right time. I don't know, dude.
I don't have an excuse and I don't need one.
That's right. Cool. So I watched Logan, rewatched The Martian, which is still so good.
God, I love that movie. I watched that again. Not that long ago.
Yeah. And then last night I did a double feature of the original Halloween by John Carpenter and Fright Night, which is relevant to this episode. And that actually is my unusual double feature for this episode, because, like, that actually was really fun.
Oh, nice.
To have something that was, like, a really tense, like, slasher, and then go for something that was also very tense and also, like, kind of bloody and gory, but, like, for a different reason.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of the same, like, oh god, like, we're trapped in the house with it. Oh god, he's, like, right there and we don't see him. Like, a lot of those similar kind of themes in a totally different setting and, like, a totally different vibe. Also, I had never seen Halloween, and I got real spooked by it, but I know Fright Night 2012 pretty well, so that was, like, a good cool down for me. So
good palate cleanser.
Right, and also I don't find monster movies as scary, so you could watch them with whatever order you see fit, but that's what I did, and I'm glad I did it like that. So, anyway, that's what I've seen.
I've seen nothing, but in my defense, I've never seen anything in my life. No, what's a movie? Why am I on this podcast? In my defense,
how did I get here?
I basically started reading again. So I read a bunch of, like, actually quite good fiction novels, and I am finally, after years of putting it off, reading King Leopold's Ghost, which is about the fucking just mind-boggling levels of atrocities that took place in the Belgian Congo. So, you know, a little light reading this autumn, but I read a book called That Inevitable Victorian Thing by
I really need to read that.
I can't remember the author's name right this second. I will Google it real fast. But this novel, Leia recommended it to me because it started its life way back when, as, I shit you not, North and South Pacific Rim fusion fanfiction.
Which is, like, as an idea, fucking rules. Like, that's the coolest thing anyone's ever come up with.
It is, one, the single coolest thing anyone has ever come up with, and two, like, just the level at which that is laser targeted to Matty and I is, like, actually offensive.
I know. Apparently the book is not a lot like the original source material.
Yeah, it has very little to do with it.
But I'm also like, where's the original source material? Can I get at that? Can I read it?
I swear to God, I'm seriously considering, like, writing a fan letter to E.K. Johnston and just saying, hey, I loved the shit out of this book, but also, like, if you needed to know who the target audience for North and South Pacific Rim fusion fanfiction is, it's literally me. That's, like, two of my favorite things. If I promise not to show it to anyone ever, can I have it?
Yeah. I will show it to my one person I share things with, which I think all people should have is, like, my one person I tell secrets to.
Yeah,
when I
exactly.
say I won't. Yeah, and that's you and I.
That's you and I. Fucking, this book has a 3.2 rating on Goodreads, which, like, I guess if it's not your thing, it's not your thing, but, like, I loved it.
But if it's not your thing, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really cool thing where the story itself is very small. It is very intimate and circumscribed. And it's all
like
about
North
the
and
little
South.
details, like North and South. But the sense that you have of the larger world in which it takes place is fucking fascinating, and it's huge and expansive, and the balance between those two things is really interesting. You should check it out. I would do a plot summary, but just explaining the concept takes like 12 minutes. And that's not the subject of this podcast. So go Google That Inevitable Victorian Thing by E.K. Johnston. You will be glad you did, especially if you sat through our last episode on period pieces going, this is my shit. Because it's like a combo. It's speculative fiction with many of the storytelling sensibilities of a costume drama.
Yes. Oh, most excellent. Okay.
Yeah,
when are we going to do... like a Pacific Rim episode?
I mean, fucking...
I was gonna say a mecha episode, but, like, I'm the only one who
Spoon.
I think has otherwise mecha experience, so...
Yeah, I mean, I will freely admit that everything I know about mecha is me watching Pacific Rim like a bazillion times.
Yeah, and that's fine, and you're valid.
And also, knowing the Shinji getting the robot joke, but not understanding what it means.
Frasier, you have to get in the robot or I'll be forced to put Niles in.
What?
Have you not seen this fucking meme? I'll have to find it for you.
No,
it's based
please.
off a particular scene in Evangelion, but instead it's the fucking guys from Frasier.
Oh my god!
Oh, man. Anyway. That's a different episode. We're talking about vampires.
It's let's talk about some motherfucking vampires.
Are vampires gay? Discuss.
Yes. I didn't even wait for you
Discussion
to say discuss.
over.
Yes. Nah, of course vampires are gay. They are transgressive of social norms in a way that is like includes like intimacy and bodily fluids. They're gay.
Yeah. And
Case
they are
closed.
like not. Well, never mind then.
No, please keep talking.
Say, I think they are inherently always a little queer coded because of a few different things. One of them you said is they're fundamentally decadent. Like they are always dressed to the goddamn nines. They always are like very aware of like their presentation, and it makes sense because they're a charisma predator basically. And therefore they have to be as appealing as possible, and something about that in our, like, weird, straight-ass society is, like, gay. Which is, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
they're gay.
They're so emblematic of the sort of concept of, and danger of forbidden desire. Mm-hmm. Which, like...
They're also equal opportunity predators. Like, they will feed on men and women. And because the feeding is so, like, inherently erotic, it's like, oh.
That's, okay. Yeah, everybody just kind of gets flustered for a second.
Yeah.
As they should, because vampire's hot. I feel like, also, there is this sort of funky thing that happens, and this is a very, like, American film-centric thing, but, we really like to have our, like, charismatic monsters be played by British people. And I maintain, and this is something that's like, I don't know, I don't think I'm getting this from anywhere. This is just like my, like, one of my like film observation convictions. And it is that there is something sort of very, very, very lightly queer-coded about British villains in American film, which is that there's something where there's an element of them just being like less masculine somehow. And this is like, this is about dudes. My apologies for this being dude-centric, but like, they're somehow less masculine, or like masculine in the wrong way. They're like not rugged or whatever the fuck.
They're like very poised and like stiff upper lip and like,
yeah, there's sort of this idea that authentic masculinity is somehow tied to, like, a lot of times because especially a lot of times it's like kind of tall skinny guys with very posh accents.
Yeah, you don't have any fucking Cockney villains running around.
No, or you do if you have Cockney like supernatural villains, they're werewolves, because werewolves are working class and vampires are posh.
Yeah.
And so
it's like, okay.
The sensibilities in this, like, especially because one of the sort of traditional overarching tropes of the vampire story is like woman in peril, man save woman from sexual predator kind of a thing. And so you get that plays very well with lots of other kinds of, one, just like straight up bigotry, but that's not really what I'm talking about here. Just like the idea that, like, that's like the ultimate masculine thing, and so therefore you're centering the authentic masculinity in this landscape as tied to like a more like or like works with their, like, somebody who like works with their hands, like man of action thing, which is like more of a working class or middle class vibe. Set against the kind of like decadent and wealthy and powerful but kind of useless upper class.
Yeah, they're not, like I said, they're charisma predators more often than not. And a lot of vampire mythos plays with the idea that they are also, like, inhumanly strong and inhumanly fast.
Yeah.
But that there's something very, like, foppish about the fact that they don't get you because they fuck with your mind. They don't, like, they won't fight you or whatever. They won't, why won't a vampire just fucking punch me?
Yeah. And it's like, what? Because he doesn't need to. He can make you walk right into there.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be able to say no, and that's, you know, a very scary thing for a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah. Yep. The coercive aspect of the vampire's power is definitely part of what's so scary.
Right. I wouldn't be able to say no to being gay if it was a vampire.
Yeah, there's that fear of like, oh man, I don't know, what if my like what if my red-blooded masculinity like what if I fail my masculinity save?
Me gay?
Do we not all fail our heterosexuality save around Colin Farrell?
Yes. So, Fright Night, to move into Fright Night, first of all, I like the way that vampires are portrayed in Fright Night. They're very, like, they're underground, like, cave dwellers, which is really interesting. They, like, sleep in the dirt.
Nice. Oh, yeah, because there's definitely that, like, more than one scene where he's just, like, covered in dirt. And, like, yelling.
At the very end. Yeah. Yeah. There's also the scene at the very end where, like, David Tennant is in the vampire pit and they come out of the walls, like, the packed dirt in the walls. And it's fucking gross. Oh, it's so gross.
I had forgotten about that scene.
Oh, yeah, that scene is, like, one of the... Like, that movie's not super scary. There's, like, two scenes back-to-back where his girlfriend goes full vampire and her face morphs and her mouth is, like, way too big and there's way too many teeth and it's, like, genuinely frightening.
Yeah.
And then David Tennant gets thrown into the vampire pit right after, and Colin Farrell chucks a pebble at his forehead and makes him bleed, and then all the vampires just come wriggling out of the walls. Like, limbs first. God,
that's so fucked up.
Oh, it's fucked up. Yeah, and that's when you, that movie has a very good sense of, like, vampires are our predator race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And which is, like, I think is something that sometimes it gets missed in vampire mythology, and I like it so much because that's something that's so scary, because we don't have really any natural predators, but
no, like, we are the apex predator.
Except for vampires.
Yeah.
That is our predator. And we are also, in some ways, like, we are their ultimate predator, too, if like, there's something, like, very, like, back and forth, weird tension about it, and it's good.
It is good.
It's good.
It is good as hell. I think Fright Night plays a lot about the, like, one of the things that we like about vampires is that it does the thing where we get to take the thing that we're afraid of and make it less scary by being horny about it. Mm-hmm. Because, like, for instance, Colin Farrell in that movie, fucking fairly scary, but also sexy as shit.
Oh, he's slimy. You can feel the, like, he's, like, evil as shit, and it comes off him in waves, and he's, like, gross about it. Like, he makes comments about his mom, and you're like, dude, gross.
Oh, yeah.
And also the entire time, you're like, God, you're so sexy, though.
He is your mom. He is the, like, your mom's extremely dodgy new boyfriend with all of the, like, potentially scary connotations of that. But also, he's just incredibly compelling.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have that push and pull of, like, fear, the classic push and pull of fear and arousal that is, like, part of the hindbrain reason that we all like horror movies.
Yeah.
But I, who usually do not like horror movies, like it because it's Colin Farrell.
Right, exactly.
And it's a little bit goofy.
He plays a brooding evil villain very well. Oh, yeah, for sure. At one point, they take him down by stubbing, like, one of those, like, not retail, sorry. I keep talking over you, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
At one point, they take him down by stabbing him with one of those, like, home rental signs.
Yeah.
Because it's a stake, because it's sharp, right? And they get him through the mom gets him through the back with one. And yes, he does move around in a very scary way when he does that, but also he's skidding around like a turtle with a fucking sign through his back that says "New Home." Like, it's so fucking dumb. David Tennant walks around in leather a lot.
He does. I think vampires are one of those things where, like, they can be scary, and they may have, like, started out as kind of pure horror, but because they've been sort of sent up and spoofed so many times, they are quite safe, because you're like, this is scary and unsettling, but also, like, in the back of your head, you have, like, What We Do in the Shadows reminding you that, like, it's just a story, and also it's a bit ridiculous, just generally. You know what I don't have on this whole fucking Google Doc, Maddie? What? Being human!
It's okay, I talked about being human very briefly.
Oh, okay, thank God. We're gonna, you know what? I'm gonna table that, because we're gonna do a whole ass episode on being human, so...
Yes. I think
if everybody's like, Ezra, who are you? Why haven't you talked about being human? It's because I'm, like, frantically cramming things back in my bag to be like, this is its whole own episode.
Yeah. I will briefly say one of the things that I made a note of is, one of the things I like about Fright Night is, like, the vampires looks, like, real cute, and then they get, like, real fucked up.
Like, which is a super great choice.
Monsters. Yeah. And I'm like, I want more of that. The exception is being human was fine, because, like, the monster was, like, inside them all along. Aiden Turner doesn't ever get, like, full, like, monster mode, but there's times where he's got blood smeared all over him, and he's got those, like, wild eyes on, and you're like, no, he's definitely not human, though.
Yeah. One of the reasons I love being human is that, like, there's all of these things that it uses all of the things that make vampires scary, and it uses a lot, it plays with a lot of the things that make vampires also kind of silly, but it gets at another thing that most vampire media, I think, doesn't, which is that they're also a little bit pathetic.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like, it kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all, a lot of those people are just kind of stuck with it.
Yeah.
Which I just sort of, it makes them, they're powerful, but they're really not that powerful. And it's like, so they have to put up with all of this shit and they don't even get, like, that. I have a lot of emotions about being human, which, like I said, I'm tabling for a future episode.
I need to, desperately need to rewatch Being Human.
Oh, yeah.
It's been way too long.
My thing is, honestly, I have never watched I've only ever watched the first and second seasons of Being Human because I know what happens in the third season in terms of character dynamic changes. I will watch it eventually, but I know that it will not make me happy. It's very well done, but it's going to be very difficult for me to watch personally, and so I've been putting it off because season 1 of Being Human is, like, one of my comfort media things.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea that it's just, like, because it ends, it's like if you turn it off there, they're happy.
Yes.
And,
the
like,
next couple seasons are relatively difficult.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know, sometimes I kind of just need them to a vampire, a werewolf, and a ghost living in the pink house at the end of the row, like, to be happy. I just need them to be frozen like that.
Yes, and they are.
Yep.
And no other seasons of the show will tell me any different, even though I did enjoy the later seasons, too.
Even, they're really well done. It's just like,
I'll watch them with you, so at least
Thank
we can
you.
go through it together.
I like that makes me feel good.
I'm trying to think, what are, like, some vampire stuff that I want to take? So, obviously, we have to talk about Twilight. I don't want to talk about Twilight that much.
No, me neither.
I read all the fucking books. I saw one of the movies, and I saw 10 minutes of the first one on my birthday this year, and I was like, dude, I can't do this.
I've read the first book.
Boring. Yeah.
I read the first book. I watched the first movie. I remember reading the first book, like, after the hype had peaked. And then I, like, picked it up and I was like, fine. And then I was really mad because it wasn't good, but I couldn't stop reading it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think Twilight was weird for me because I had already... I am gonna kind of segue into Buffy the Vampire Slayer for a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Twilight came out at a point... Or I, like, read Twilight... fairly, like, after I had binge-watched almost all of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it was interesting because it was a natural segue because it's kind of solidified the thing where part of me always thinks of vampire stuff as fundamentally teenager-related, even though, like, it's not. Like, there's nothing about, and a lot of the other vampire media that I enjoy has fuck all to do with teenagers, but there's, like, it's like there's, like, teenager vampires and then, like, adult vampires. I mean, which I guess is the same fucking thing as, like, goddamn, Ween Tolf.
Ween Tolf!
Teen Wolf. Yeah, it's a similar thing where it's, like, fucking, which, for the record, everybody, no, I have never watched Teen Wolf, and no, I'm never going to watch Teen Wolf.
Yeah, don't. It's just, I did that for you. Leia and I did that for you.
Yeah, you did, and like, I'm impressed, and also, Jesus, no gracias. But so, fucking Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I started watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer in 2008? Like, yeah, 2000, it was like 2007, 2008, which was funny because it was like exactly 10 years after it had premiered. I was lent the DVDs by a friend who I had just a massive, horrible hang-up crush on at the time. And Buffy was one of the less bad things that I, like, forced myself to read because I thought that it would make him pay attention to me. I read the entirety of the graphic novel From Hell, which no one needs to do! It's like a bazillion pages! It's not even that good! Anyway, I'm not bitter or anything. So, first of all, Buffy, vampire design, good as hell. It has a great, like, they look like monsters, and it doesn't take very much, but the way that the face shift works, I always thought was, like, really great. Because it emphasized how simultaneously, like, they could totally turn on a dime because it happened, like, immediately. And also, like, because it was just the face, it really emphasized how much they relied on the ability to blend in and live amongst their prey, which is a very, like, you know, it was a sort of extension of the, like, 90s growing up, like, stranger danger thing, where this idea that, like, you can't trust the crowd because anybody could be a predator.
Yeah.
And that
I
really...
hadn't ever thought about that, but yeah.
That sensibility is just everywhere in Buffy the Vampire. Like, that is kind of, like, the underlying sensibility of Buffy. And then there's also... like, the whole thing about Buffy is, especially, like, I'm mostly talking about the earlier seasons, and, like, I have never finished the last season of Buffy, because I just, like, genuinely stopped giving a shit. It's like Supernatural, it should have ended after season 5, when they had written a satisfying finale, and then they were like, we want more Buffy, and I was like, but it sucks now!
But you shouldn't have.
You shouldn't have done it! Musical episode aside, there are 2 episodes that are worth watching in season 6. They are the musical episode and the one where everybody's memory gets wiped. There are 0 episodes worth watching in season 7. There, I said it. I don't like Buffy Spike. Like, direct your hate mail to snakepeopleatthemovies@gmail.com. Buffy Spike never did it for me.
That's not even our email.
God damn it! I fucked up! What the fuck is our email?
Also, I get those emails. Don't send them to me. I didn't do anything. I also don't think I would like Buffy Spike very much, but I also haven't seen, like, any of the show, so I don't know.
I don't know if I can even recommend it anymore. Buffy was great for me because I watched it when I was in high school. Like, I started watching Buffy when I was a sophomore in high school. They were sophomores in high school. It was... I liked it in a way that I had not always... I never really had all that much enthusiasm for the, like, 80s Brat Pack teen films. Like, I liked them, but they were never really, like, super my thing. Whereas Buffy was, like, I fucking loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And, like, I also... sort of, that was one of the first times that I went looking for fan fiction for a show, and there was still a ton of, like, Buffy had been a very intense and prolific fandom, so I got to go back and read some just phenomenal work by, actually, like, more than one person who is now, like, a fairly famous published author.
Wild.
Dude, Naomi Novik's freaking Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. I think it's Naomi Novik. I'm pretty sure it's Naomi Novik. Shout out to Naomi Novik. You're amazing. I love, the fucking dragon books. Yeah. Anyway, and, like, Buffy was also, it, for all its flaws, there are lots. Also, see above read, Joss Whedon is a huge piece of shit, which...
yeah.
Not that many people knew at the time. Like, I didn't know that Joss Whedon was a piece of shit, and, like, it was 2008. My politics weren't all that developed, and now I look back at it and I'm like, Jesus H. Pooping Christ, this stuff is sexist a lot of the time, or it's just this, like, bad. And I could tell that some of it was, like, extremely skeevy, especially, like, the later seasons, but at the time, it was a kind of... I felt accepted as a nerd who was a girl. Like, it felt like it was nerdy and, like, unabashedly dorky and really leaned into inside jokes and offbeat humor and stuff, but it didn't require you to, like, want to be a computer programmer and play Magic the Gathering or something.
Right, yeah.
It was just a different set of... I had access to a different set of nerd credentials by being a Buffy fan that was really fun. And also, it's cool because the whole thing, especially with the early seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, is that it basically takes the Monster of the Week format and uses it to kind of explode and look at, like, magnify and examine the scary parts of being an adolescent. Like, especially, and the through line became the young character's relationship to vampires was a lot about teenage anxieties about sex.
Which makes sense.
Which was
considering
really
what vampires are.
Yeah, considering they're vampires, and vampires are sort of inherently sexual. Like, there's a literal exchange of bodily fluids going on. Like, it's just, that's, like, the baseline analysis. Yeah, and then as the characters got older and just, like, regular vampires became kind of just something that you unfortunately had to deal with, but they weren't really that scary. It was also sort of just this, like, atmospheric, like, thing about, like, the grind of being alive and being an adult in a world where, like, people who, like basically, like, society wants to suck the life out of you, kind of just, like, and you go, you know, you do your own shit, but you're always, like, constantly having to deal with that, even when you have way bigger problems now.
Yeah. That's always the low-key vibe, is there's minor danger and minor inconveniences just kind of always floating around. And you deal with them all the time, you know how to deal with them, and you still have to deal with them.
Yeah, and it can...
That makes sense.
It just, like, can, like, interrupt you, and it just doesn't care about you. Like, no matter how good you are at stuff, no matter how important you are, all of these things, like, you can still just get interrupted by, like, the regular kind of annoying, shitty parts of life.
Fucking vampires.
Fucking vampires. So yeah, that's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I apologize to everyone who knew me when I was, like, 17, because the Buffy speak got me hard.
Oh, God. No, it's all right. I think it got a lot of people.
It did. I was not alone. The worst thing is fucking Joss Whedon, get out of my head. I swear to God, I actually said shiny instead of, like, cool or something. Like, it's 2008 and I'm still obsessed with Firefly. I can't get it out of my head!
Oh, bud. If only I could save you.
I'm a lost cause. Follow. Oh, I'm a lost cause.
Madeline wants to watch it because I've seen a few episodes of Buffy, but not many, and I watched them kind of when I was in my, like, early to mid 20s. Part of it is I just couldn't focus on fucking anything, so I was like, well, this was fun. I don't think Helena has seen really any Buffy either, though I could be speaking out of turn.
I don't think she has.
Yeah, so Madeline wants to watch it with us very badly because she has a very strong connection to it too. So I told her I'd give it a go again. So we'll see kind of how I feel about it. I just fucking love Anthony Stewart Head, so I'll put up with almost anything for him.
God, that's so true. So the first season of Buffy is a little it's a little hit or miss. So that can be kind of... It takes some commitment to get through the first season of Buffy, but if you have somebody to watch it with, it's really not as bad. And then fucking I imprinted on Giles like nobody's business. He's one of my fucking favorite characters. I love him. And I love Anthony Stewart Head. There it is.
Man. Okay, so we talked about Twilight a little bit. Buffy... I don't know, so story time. When Ezra and I were in our, like, first year of friendship, I was like, I've never watched Interview with a Vampire. And Ezra was like, neither have I? And we got our hands on a copy of it somehow. I don't remember how. We got our hands on a copy of it somehow and sat down and watched it. And what fucking followed was the wildest ride of either of our fucking lives. Because we had no preparation for what that movie was. I had no clue what was going to happen. I've never interacted with any of her books. Though I know a lot about, like, the fandom kind of section of how she's treated fans. But I just had no preparation for what Interview with a Vampire was, and I haven't seen it since.
I know, we went into that utterly blind.
I feel like we didn't pause the movie, we kept stopping kind of and looking at each other being like, what? And then going back.
Yep!
Talk about vampires are inherently gay. Boy, there's a lot going on in that movie.
Jesus.
Ugh. I don't remember enough to make, like, a full commentary about it, unfortunately. I remember, like, it had an interesting take on vampires, and that's really all I recall about it. Also, Tom Cruise is at his wildest.
Oh,
they
yeah.
Let that man go.
That is one of my single favorite Tom Cruise performances of all time.
Yeah.
It's just fucking nutty. Like, that's my primary thing that I remember about Interview with the Vampire, is that it's just frankly kind of apeshit.
Yeah.
And it just keeps getting weirder, like, the longer it keeps happening.
Yeah, at the end, like, you think, like, by the end it would taper off. No, it doesn't.
No, it just...
That last scene of him driving off with the interviewer, and you're like, oh, the cycle continues, is like, I was not fucking expecting that. I was like,
no,
what is happening?
That movie just goes way harder than it frankly needs to, and, like, don't get me wrong, I had a great time, but I just remember being like, literally, what in the ever-loving fuck did I just watch?
Yeah.
Boy, howdy. Interview with a fucking Vampire.
Yeah, Antonio Banderas is in it, and he's great, as I recall.
Oh, yeah, Antonio Banderas is phenomenal in that movie.
I love him. I'm thinking about, I'm, like, flipping through other vampire media. I haven't interacted a lot with a lot of different vampire media, simply because I've always been more interested in, like, werewolf stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to think of, like, what is vampire? But, like, you know, I'm also a human who lives in society, and therefore I've interacted with a decent amount of vampire things. I'm just trying to think about what are, like, notable ones. I like the Castlevania animated series on Netflix. I think they should let Richard Armitage play a vampire, and he's a very good vampire hunter, but I think they should let him play a vampire.
I watched the first season of I need to catch up. Like, I watched the first season of Castlevania, but I didn't get around to watching the rest of it. I just remember watching the first episode.
Second season is real good.
Nice. Like, right on the heels of my desperately unfortunate, thing where I didn't actually like the Hobbit movies that much, but boy did I love Richard Armitage in the Hobbit movies. And so I'd watched him in all of these things where, basically, I had watched him in all of these things where there wasn't any cussing, and then he, like, is introduced swearing a blue streak, and I was like, why is this kind of hot?
Because it is. Next question.
It. Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's my fucking thoughts on Castlevania. Also, it is really well done, but it's like, it's so gory.
Oh,
it's almost too gory for me.
Yeah, the second season is also relatively gory. I should watch it. I will watch it with you if you
Yeah, honestly, yeah. It's not that long, so we might actually be able to pull that off.
There's 8 episodes, so the first season's 4, the second is 8. It's still not very long.
Oh,
I watched it on, like a flight up to Seattle and back or something.
Oh, yeah, that's totally doable.
Well, maybe maybe longer than that. It doesn't matter. Anyway, this is a side note. They also, so between the two of us, it's like, they let Richard Armitage play, like, a vampire hunter who cusses a lot and, like, drinks too much. And then they also let Richard Armitage play Wolverine, and that's just, like, those two things are my absolute, just, like, fucking weakest spot. I just can't believe that they did that to me. Anyway. The anonymous they.
Just the truth. Truth in advertising.
For us, you and I personally have read a bunch of the Dresden Files books, which they did do a TV series on. And it's garbage. It had 1 season, and I love that season, and it's not very good. And I don't think they had any vampires in the TV show.
Nope.
Which is a bummer, because the vampire mythos is really interesting in the Dresden Files.
I do love the vampire mythos in the Dresden Files. It's really... It's very complicated in a good way. Mm-hmm. There's, like, they have flavors of vampires. They have different,
like, sub-races, basically.
And they all fucking hate each other.
Oh, yeah, there's, like, class. There's, like, There's, like, clan politics. Between the 3 different, like, main families of these different kinds of vampires. Which then play into the politics of, like, the wizard world and, like, the mortal world. Oh, God, it's so good. My favorite character in those series is Thomas, who is one of the, like... I hate the Dresden Files, because I'm about to say this sentence. So, he's one of the sex vampires.
So there's the sex vampires who... They feed on emotions.
Is the thing. Is, like, I think that, I think the black vampires can feed on flesh, or do.
Yeah, so what it is, so there's the ones who feed on emotions, who are the white court, who are, like, the most kind of quote-unquote human. There's the red court ones who feed on blood.
They also feed on fear, though.
Yeah, they feed on fear and blood.
And blood.
So they're sort of like the most traditional vampire ones, and then the black court ones are the most like animalistic, and they just straight up eat people, I think.
Yeah, they're very like Nosferatu. They're like shambling. They're like, ugh, they're awful. And the red court like have like vampiric forms that they wear like a skin basically, and it like shreds off, and they have like other grosser vampiric forms underneath. Yeah. And Thomas is a white court vampire, and love him.
He's he's delightful.
Bisexual icon, Thomas Wraith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that they'll never make I mentioned this to you before, but I know they'll never make another series of it because the first one tanked. And I don't think I'd really want them to unless they could do, like, a full-blown, like, 5-season political drama, because that's what Dresden Files ends up being, is it's both a Monster of the Week and a political drama in the later books. And, like, you just can't translate so much of the lore to a visual format. I think it's just too much.
Oh, absolutely.
But that also means I will never see Thomas Wraith on screen. And it is agonizing to me. And also, I think that will make a lot of the, like that's some of my favorite vampire lore, and it's very inaccessible because there's so many fucking books you have to fucking read.
Yeah. Yeah. Pour one out for the Dresden Files. Yep. Basically.
Yep. Boy.
What else do we want to talk about? I'm wrapping up with this wacky fucking post that I vaguely remember from Tumblr like 80 billion years ago, which I'm not sure. I'm in a like research methods class right now, so my brain is like, you have to cite your sources, and I'm like, I can't. I don't even know if this person cited I don't know where this person got their fucking information. Anyway, but it was a post which discussed the idea that the fear element of both vampires and zombies has to do with like your politics or like with certain political ideologies. Mm-hmm. Basically the idea is that the fear of zombies is like similar to the fear of communism, a group of people who have had their individuality systematically removed becoming the horde. And so it has a lot to do with, it borrows a lot from the sort of fear-mongering that went on during the Cold War, of, like, the faceless masses of people subjugated by communism all, like, marching in unison towards the same, like, destructive ideal. And also, like, communism's, like, the idea that communism was, like, willing to cannibalize its own people kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And then the flip side of that being the fear of vampires, being the fear of mysteriously powerful, literal blood-sucking capitalists. Mm-hmm. The vampire is your boss. Stake your boss. No, don't. I'm not allowed to advocate for that on this podcast. But so because they're very like singular, like they don't often part of the vampire mythos is that they don't operate well with others, like they're very individualistic. Their power is very hard to explain. They can accumulate a lot of wealth because they live forever.
Yeah, vampires are old money. They are about as old money as it gets.
They are old as fuck money, and they want to suck out your life and vibrancy and youth in order to keep themselves going.
Mm-hmm. I would also say, aside from like the political, like, because I think that is a very good and interesting thing to consider. I would also say there's something about vampires too that is like a loss of identity and a loss of control. that zombies and vampires actually have a lot in common. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of monsters are about a loss of identity and a loss of control. Like werewolves, vampires, zombies, all of them share that key note, and like you will become something that is not you anymore.
Yeah, you become subordinate to some other kind of destructive force. Whether it makes you into something that destroys it, it makes you need something that you can only acquire by violence.
And also, like, vampires often have, a lot of the mythos is usually something involving a sire of some kind. What is that if not a boss? But also, like, that is, it plays into the, like, there's someone who is bigger and stronger, more powerful than you, who has made you something you didn't necessarily want to be, and you must answer to them. And so you also lose, like, your autonomy as a person, not only to, like, your bloodlust, but also to your sire, usually.
Hell yeah.
Stuff to think about. Think about it.
Oh, I'm thinking about it.
Think about it. God, I'd love to have, like, literally another vampire episode where we just talk about, like, not a specific movie, but just, like, the mythos of different monsters and, like, going into, like, where it came from and, like, what different things mean. And, like, I want to analyze vampire myths.
Oh, I mean, we can absolutely do more monster stories episodes.
Oh, I would love to. I love shocking no one. I love horror. I love, like, monster. I love, like, the stories we tell. That's why I like movies.
It's true.
And, like, collective mythologies are of a high interest to me. So, like, vampires is right in that little Venn diagram there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Good shit.
Good shit. Well, I think that's a good wrap-up for our segment of the episode.
Yeah.
We haven't figured out a good way to transition to other halves of episodes.
Well, I'll just say, like, this is where I say goodbye, everybody. So have fun listening to Matty and Helena, who will, without a doubt, go just on a Dracula deep dive, because it's them and I love them.
Yes. If you want more Dracula deep dives, by the way, we just put up our pilot episode on our Patreon, patreon.com/Infinity Break. That is about the Van Helsing movie from 2004? 2003?
I can never remember.
Boy. Yeah, so if you liked this half and hopefully the next half of the episode, that is also available.
Go check out the no longer lost pilot episode of Sneeple.
Yes, episode 0. Mm-hmm.
God.
And
I want to go back and listen to it so bad.
Yeah, I started listening to it. It's actually not as, we don't have mics yet, but other than that, it's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Oh, good. So. Oh, it's 2004. I wanted to double
2004. Check. Wonderful. I might watch it again soon. Anyway, without further ado, into the next segment. Hello, beloved listeners. This is Maddie. So as you may have noticed, we're actually not transitioning into the next segment. Both of our segments ran a little bit long, so we decided instead of giving you one mega long episode, we are going to actually release the second half of this episode as episode 21 next week on Halloween. So you're going to get 3 straight weeks of Sneeple, basically. You're welcome. But because of that, you are just going to listen to my dulcet tones as I carry out the end of this episode. And then next week, you will have Helena and I with episode 21 as we continue to talk about vampires. We talk a lot about Dracula. Ezra was right. We talk about Dracula a lot. But, you know, that's why you listen to the show, because we just talk about things that we love, and we talk about them quite a lot. So without any further ado, thank you for hanging out with us here on Steeple at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Check out infinitybreak.net for more awesome content, and come hit us up on Twitter at people_snake, or shoot us an email at sneepleatthemovies@gmail.com. Our amazing music was done by Johnny Ronaldo. You can find at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter. Our Snooper Sazzy logo was designed by Bethany Luthold. Check her out at bethanyluthold.wixsite.com. If you've got a subject you want to hear us talk about it, a movie you think we absolutely need to see, or a reminder of, like, any other vampire movies that we missed, because we missed quite a lot, I think, please come say hello. Also, so this was episode 20. We're kind of approaching the quarter mark. I don't know. We've gotten some nice feedback, and I'm trying to be more active on the Twitter. But anything you could do to continue spreading the word, sharing the news with your friends, we would really love that. Also, please, I would really love for you guys to talk back to us too. I want to know, what are things you want us to do? What are things you love to see? What are subjects you want to hear us talk about? I know we say that at the end of every episode, but I mean it every single time. So, yeah, that's it. And as always, thank you for listening, and we'll see you at the movies.